to the GoTeez Sportspage, coming to you live from the Bluetick Tavern in Marysville at 92.5 FM and 1180 AM. Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Bringing you the best in Blount County sports since 1978. Featuring the Greenfield Gunner, Mike Edwards, former Marysville Scott, Donnie Moore, and from the Daily Times, Marcus Fitzsimmons.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, and I'm here at the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Marysville, along with Blount County Sports Hall of Famer Donnie Moore, longtime sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons, and Carson Newman assistant football coach Tony Iruli. And this is the GoTeez Sportspage. College football conference championships are on the table, and we're going to the whistle blows. And now let's set today's lineup card. Donnie Moore will report on the latest high school basketball scores involving Blount County teams, and we'll follow up with some national sports stories. Marcus Fitzsimmons will be on board to update us on what's happening in local high school sports with his segment Mark It Down. Maryville boys basketball and Heritage boys basketball will be on the agenda. Our panel will talk some UT football and basketball, and we'll look at today's SEC football conference championship game between Georgia and Alabama. We'll hit on some of the top college football conference championship games from across the country and have some discussion on the playoffs. Lane Kiffin will be in the talk. The Letter Rip segment is set to go, so let's break the huddle and dive right in. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another week in the sports page.
Good morning, Mike.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I had to go through 2 levels of security to get here, but that's good to be here.
Yeah.
They heard Tony Iruli's going to be here, so we're going to go ahead and.
Did you get searched?
Yeah. I won't tell you where, but.
No, we won't.
Yeah. Well, it's 11 o'clock this morning, and we're going to talk about this later on the show. Alcoa and Marcus Fitzsimmons playing for another state championship in football.
Yeah. East Tennessee's last chance.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not a good day for East Tennessee yesterday.
No.
But we had teams there, so and
Yeah,
they Smoky Bears put up a good game last night. That was a fun one to watch.
Yeah, that was 21-14, I believe, in that football game. And they're going to get better weather today, too, than they had yesterday.
I hope so. It was
Yeah,
pretty
it's
rainy
it's not going to
yesterday.
be bright and sunny, but it's not going to be a drizzle or spitting snow. It'll be okay.
May
Well,
not have
hopefully-
liquid sunshine.
Hopefully they can come through with another state championship, and next week's the Christmas parade, and they'll all be in the parade with, I guess, the trophy and all the pickings and doings, huh?
with the GoTeez monster truck.
Yeah. Well, I've got a Letter Rip segment going this morning,
All right, let's
and
do it.
I'm,
All right, go
I'm
for it.
talking about Lane Kiffin again. Lane Kiffin.
Do we
I'm
have
gonna,
to?
I'm going to.
We only got 2 hours.
I have to because it all played out this week.
Yep.
Hey, the Lane train is pulled out of Oxford, Mississippi, and is heading full steam to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. A lot of trains have headed to the LSU station in the past, but have ended up in metal salvage yards. The Les Miles Express went over the mountain after a national championship. The Ed Orgeron Flyer into the lake after a national championship. The Brian Kelly South Bender blew up before it revved up to have a chance at a national championship. And now here comes the big, fancy, high-flying Lane train, the fastest train in all the land. So fast, it has left the Oakland Bay area after 2 years, the Tennessee mountains after 1 year, Surfing California after 3 years, the Florida beaches after 2 years, and the land of magnolias after 5 years. The Lane train is so fast that when it crosses a bridge, it burns it to the ground. Some of those bridges are still burning today. The Lane train is full throttle to the destination of its dream, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and the land of the Bayou Tigers. Folks in LSU country better not get too attached to this fast piece of machinery because at its first chance, it might be pulling out for another dream destination. All aboard. Next stop, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
You already
go.
got it figured out.
I got it figured out.
Yeah,
Yes,
if you're an
sirree.
LSU fan, it started off with, we got Lane Kiffin. And then it was followed by, we got Lane Kiffin.
Then it was followed by, we got Lane Kiffin.
Tony, I really, this one's hard to figure out, and I think it's sad for Ole Miss. I think it's a sad situation in some respects for coaches that are involved in a situation like this. I think it's sad for college football. And I think that Rick Pitino up at St. John's University, they're the basketball coach, summed it up the best.
Yeah.
It'd be like me playing for 3 months or 3.5 months, having a #1 seed in the NCAA basketball tournament, a chance to win a national championship, and I decide to go someplace else.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just – you know, you're as a coach, and you're a college football coach. You play to win championships.
Sure.
You play to win a national championship, and it's all there for him to do. That's what he's been trying to do all these years of coaching, and he gets and leaves it.
Well, and the thing is he wanted it both ways. He wanted to be the head coach at LSU, but still coach Ole Miss into the playoffs. You know, that wasn't going to happen at all.
Nope.
And when you look at his career, I mean, he's got as a head coach, he got 1 year at Tennessee, two years at the Raiders. He was thrown off the plane at USC. He was only 2 games above 500 at FAU. And the only place he's really have had success. Well, let's not forget that Saban fired him before he was the offensive coordinator at Alabama, but Saban fired him before the national championship game.
Right.
Yeah, people forget that. So you know, really the only place he's had really good success has been at Ole Miss, and so you know the way he's going to thank them for it is bolt. And you know,
Sure.
and you're right. It's just I didn't like it. I was hoping he would. You know, he's getting paid well enough at Ole Miss. He was going to get a higher contract, and but he you know he
I
feels
think
like
it starts with the coach. If you're going to do this the right way, if you're the coach, you just tell them, you want to talk, I'll talk to you when we're done.
yeah.
And you tell Jimmy Sexton not to answer the phone.
That's right. That's right. You know,
But when you have the super agent dealing and wheeling and trying to space his time out,
yeah.
there was no reason for this deal had to be done. You can say, oh, for recruiting or this or that. He's not turning kids in 2 days. He wasn't going to turn anybody around.
Yeah.
So there was no need for this.
Yeah.
He could have just as easily said, I'll talk to you after the playoffs.
Yeah, well, what made it worse is the drama went on for several weeks.
Yeah.
You know,
And-
if it gets, you know, come about right at the end or whatever. But, you know, you take a situation like Tonio Ridley, the James Madison situation, the North Texas State situation, where these coaches have decided, you know, to go to other schools. Now, they're not in the Power 4 conferences.
Right,
And
right.
I think when you're in that league, those coaches are looking to move up, and
Right.
it's sort of understood.
Yes.
And they're letting them coach, you know, in their playoff and their championship games. And players in those leagues tend to move themselves on up to a better situation. But when you got a move from one Power 4 school to another Power 4 school, when you're in a championship situation, I think it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more unacceptable. How do you feel about that?
I feel the same way too. First of all, let me mention what's happened to the governor of Louisiana. Didn't he make such a big deal about how much money they were paying Brian Kelly to be their head coach? And then he made sure that the AD got fired. And now the new head coach is going to be getting paid, what, $70 million, something like that, or $80 million.
Well, they're still paying a lot of money on coaches that have left.
Right. They're still paying on
lot.
like 3 coaches.
Yeah.
You know, the University of Florida is still paying on 4 coaches.
Sort of an interesting scenario about all of this is that Lane Kiffin, he's now kind of if you wanted a villain in a league, I think he is the villain of the SEC now. And
He's going to be the first
I
coach
believe,
to coach
and
3
and-
SEC teams.
Yeah, and
Yeah, really.
yeah,
Wow,
unless
wow.
I've misread this, I believe he comes to Tennessee. I believe he comes to Knoxville next year with that LSU team, and I believe he goes to Oxford.
Oh, yeah,
Mississippi.
I
Can
know
you-
they go to Oxford.
Yeah,
They
how
go
about
to
that
Texas.
deal?
Oh,
Won't that be a couple of homecomings for him?
yeah.
Sure will.
How many ketchup and mustard containers are going to be brought into that stadium? Those stadiums in those 2 weeks.
I tell you what, they're going to be ready to
And golf balls.
They're going to be ready to slap that smirk off his face
Yeah.
when he goes
Yeah.
to those places.
Well, you know, he's a great offensive coach. He wins a lot of games, but you know, coaches are measured on championships. You know, they're measured. You look at Saban; he's measured on those championships.
Correct.
He's not measured on all the games he's won. He's measured on the big games. And you know, I just don't think Kiffin has stayed anywhere long enough to where he could do that. You know, you take the year he spent here at Tennessee, he really didn't have very much to work with that first year, but he did have a winning record. He took Alabama right down to the end, and they were set up to kick a field goal, I believe, to win the game down in Alabama. And he had brought in some good. He was bringing in some good players to play here for the next year and start to get things rolling. And then he just bolted.
Yeah, and whenever he talks about his relationship to the school, to the players, that's not true. I mean, just look at his track record and all that. I mean, he was basically forced out in 2 or 3 of those jobs.
Okay, we've come down on him. And Donnie, you've sat there just as quiet as you can possibly be in all of this. So I'm going to throw this one on you.
Lay it on
in
me.
defense of Lane Kiffin, this is America. You know, understand what I'm saying? This is America.
I do.
And is this just another example, maybe, of someone just trying to better themselves?
In a way, it is. But I think that Lane likes, like Tony mentioned earlier, Lane likes to focus on him instead of.
Yeah, I think that's what's been kind of sad about everything is he's taken the focus away from his football players and his team and his school.
Yeah.
Now, that's not what he'll tell you.
No, but that's what's happening.
Telling you in actions speak louder than words.
Yeah. 2 years from now, if LSU is only winning 8-9 games, all right, and it's been 2 or going in his 3rd year, don't you think the heat's going to be to get rid of him and let's go to someone else?
You better believe
Where
it.
he could have been at Ole Miss, and maybe he might have a couple down years winning, 7, 8, 9 games.
Yeah.
They're not going to fire him there. They're going to keep him there and all that. And so now he's his salary was going to be increased substantially. His assistant coaches were going to get bigger salaries as well. So, the gravy train was there. All right, but he just felt like
now the Lane train is
now
there.
the Lane train.
But Tony, you nailed it, because here's what he left behind. If he stays at Ole Miss, not only does he have the cushion you're talking about, you are the equivalent of Nick Saban for Ole Miss.
Correct.
You are
the
next coming of the greatest coach they've ever had.
You're set.
Yeah.
At LSU, the best you can do is be mentioned with Saban and Orgeron. The best you're going to do.
Right.
Unless you win multiple national championships, which in this day and age doesn't seem possible.
No.
You're just going to be an also-ran. Whereas you could have been the legend. You could have been the guy always in the focus. And what's more, it's the perfect situation. You're close to everything. You're close to New Orleans. You're close to Memphis. You don't have to deal with everything that goes with those fan bases, though. Yeah. You've got a fan base that's going to love you, and you'll never pay for a meal in the state of Mississippi.
And if he coaches there for another 8, 9, 10 years, when he finally hits the time that he's going to be retired, that stadium in Ole Miss, the field's going to be called the Kiffin Field.
Right.
And so
I think they'll name a street after him. Lane just seems too easy to do.
Yeah. There's a lot of lanes.
Like Kiffin Lane just seems like the
coach. I really the controversy may not be over, because when Ole Miss gets out, when they either win the college football playoff championship or they're put out, those players can enter the portal.
Sure.
They can enter the portal, and they can end up down Baton Rouge, can they not?
Yeah,
the way things are set up.
Don't you think he's going to be going after
some
it?
of them will be.
But can you imagine that?
He may not be done.
Sorry, I left you guys make the championship run on your own. I really wanted to stay and coach you. They wouldn't let me. Why don't you come on down here to Louisiana?
Oh yeah. It just.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the poaching's not over.
No.
The Ole Miss thinks it's all over with them leaving.
It's only just begun.
He could really leave them in disarray here in a few more weeks.
Yeah, he could. Real quick, he could just really I don't want to say destroy, but he could really cause a lot of pain and suffering within the program.
If he does do really well next year, he can come out and say, I would literally like to thank Ole Miss for all the players and the coaches that we were able to take down here and win this championship or whatever they win.
I would like to be on the game field when he goes to Ole Miss.
But if you're an Ole Miss player, and let's say one of these projections works out, you beat Oklahoma in the first round and go on to a second-round game without him.
Yeah.
At that point, aren't you just playing to spite him? So, I mean, isn't there a real factor that none of these guys are going to have anything to do with him ever again?
Right.
There's that possibility,
Hey, you get the publicity, but you know what? We could win without you.
There's certain teams, in the playoffs that I'm kind of rooting for, partial to, but I got a place for Ole Miss in there a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you guys a little
yeah,
bit? I'd kind of like to see them do really
absolutely.
well.
Yeah,
Huh?
I think they're going to have a lot of great fan support. As long as they're in the playoffs and hopefully being successful. But that's a good way to open up the show.
Yeah, Tony, I really got some sad news there this week that Roy Kramer, the man behind the founding of the Bowl Championship Series, passed away at the age of 96, and what a career this guy had. And you were at Maryville College coaching, and your paths crossed with him because he was living, I think, down at Von Noer, and
living in Telco Village.
He was on this show several times when Bob Gilbert was hosting the show. Donnie, you remember him being on? And
I sure do.
I was on several of those shows while I was on, and it was always interesting.
Bob was really nice to him too.
Yeah, him and Roy got along well. But
I mean, like I said, the guy's a legend. I mean, first of all, what he was able to achieve throughout his lifetime, being a country boy from Maryville and playing his college career at Maryville College, all right, then becoming served in the military in the Korean War, all right, then ends up going and coaching football in Michigan, gets on the staff at Central Michigan, ends up being the head coach at Central Michigan, wins the national championship at Central Michigan, then 3-4 years later he becomes the AD at Vanderbilt for, I think it was 8-9 years.
12 years.
12 years. And then, he becomes the commissioner of the SEC.
Yeah.
And the things that he was able to accomplish, during his tenure, I mean, it's big time.
Yeah, he created the championship game that we're all going to be watching today, and he expanded the SEC from 10 to 12, and he negotiated a TV contract. For the SEC. And you mentioned his championships there at Central Michigan, but he won 3 state high school championships.
Yeah,
up there in Michigan.
And Central Michigan's field is named after him. It's named Kramer Field.
Yeah.
And that guy was able to accomplish so much.
College Football Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I mean, just doing well. And I was privileged to get to know him when I was applying for the head coaching job at Maryville College. He called the search committee and said, "Hey, there's this Italian guy. I can't spell his last name, but you ought to get him over there and
check him out anyway."
And we maintained a great relationship over the years. His wife Sarah Jo was alive. Carol and I would go out with him and have a bite to eat once a year or something like that. And it's just you just sit there and listen to his stories.
Yeah,
I mean, it can't be matched.
Donnie, I told this story to y'all before the show started, but I visited there a week or so ago with a guy that was a sports announcer down there at Vanderbilt, and he mentioned that back in the early 70s when the orange throwing was going on at those basketball games, it was a pretty heated contest. Coach Mears would walk around all the way around the court with the bodyguard to get everybody all fired up, and then they'd threw the oranges down during the game. And Roy Kramer was the athletic director at Vanderbilt, and before one of those games, he said, "There's not going to be any more orange throwing down here, and we're going to cut that out." And he told them that anybody that threw oranges down there, that they were going to be suspended from school. They were going to be banned from coming to any more Vanderbilt games if they were a fan. And it looked like he had it all under control. And then they showed up, and being the smart students at Vanderbilt, they had all these obscene signs all over the field house. So he threw a whole new
with a whole different
deal. Roy Kramer's desire to get everything under control with that Tennessee Vanderbilt basketball rivalry.
2 years ago, the SEC Network put together an hour-long program on the life of Roy Kramer, and I'm sure he'll be shown here, sometime this week again and all that. And it was really outstanding, where they showed, where he grew up. He did some interviews at Maryville College football field and just rehashing the great memories he had while he was at Maryville College. Then they just, went throughout his life, his championships, his leadership qualities and that. And it was just very well done program, and it was really outstanding to watch.
Donnie, he wasn't a big fan of expanding the playoffs. He liked the BCS, the way it was set up with, I think it was 4 teams, and then they played 2 games for the championship, all done kind of by a computer and that type of thing. And his main argument for all of that was the fact that he felt like that if you went to an expanded situation, it would hurt the bowl game. Or the bowl, the
Yeah,
other
he
bowl
was
games.
he was a big
And
protector
you can
of the
see
bowl
in some
games.
respects it has hurt the other bowl games, but what's also hurt it is the fact of the transfer portal and the guys want to go on to play in the NFL, and they're opting out of these bowl games.
Sure.
Correct.
But the thing is, all those evils, NIL, the transfer portal, all that's born out of the TV money and what the TV money's impact was for the players, and seeing that money they weren't getting, that sparked that whole thing. So really what you can say is if they had stuck with his formula, if they had stuck with the computers and 4 teams, we wouldn't be sitting in the problem we are right now. We would not have some of these things going on.
Yeah.
And when you put it in, when you started, it let TV get so far in and the money becomes such a thing. Expansion, NIL, 16-team leagues, 20-team leagues, all this came out of what they derived off of his formula when they strayed off of it.
Yeah.
Totally true.
Coach Iruli and Donnie Moore, what I was really impressed with Roy Kramer is I would see him every once in a while at Becky's. Eating at Becky's or down at Tellico Plains, eating down there, and I'd go over to him and talk to him. And he says, "Well, you really know where the good places are to eat." That's what he'd tell me. And but
regular
I would
guy.
go back and sit down with my wife, and I'd say, Deb, I'd say, that guy right over there was one of the most powerful guys in all of college football at one
He
time.
sure
and
was.
here he is sitting right across from us at Becky's eating a hamburger.
Seeing that, Becky, no one around him had any idea who he was or anything like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about Tennessee basketball. They went up to Syracuse last week and got beat 62-60. And Donnie Moore, when are they going to learn to get rid of those black uniforms? I got to ask you that again. Are we about done with them, or do we just need to change our colors? Because all we've done with those black uniforms pretty much here lately is lose.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a thing, Mike.
Yeah.
I think they're going to keep those uniforms till doomsday now.
Marcus, I don't think this was a good loss. I think Syracuse is a decent team, but they're not, they're not up to where some of the other teams they've played in that tournament. They played Kansas and they beat Houston, and I just think this was a game that they let get away, but they turned the ball over 17 times, and they just never really got into sync in the basketball game up there in the Carrier Dome.
They didn't, and when you watched, the guard play was awful. It was probably as bad as it has been all year, and I don't know if that was holiday hangover, if that was a contribution from just that it was bound to happen at some point, or if that was something that was just developing. But those guys, the guards were not good. Maybe Syracuse's defense was better than we thought, but those young guys were just not very good. They, like you said, 17 turnovers was a sign of that, but they weren't getting the ball to the right places at the right times. They were relying pretty much on one guy on the inside, and they just weren't getting themselves good looks.
And as far as Syracuse goes, they had the type of game that they needed, a low-scoring game at home. Tennessee just didn't get any transitional game going. But, what made it look bad for them was the fact that they just, they shot 41% from the field, and they were 30% from three-point areas. But they missed, they were 8 for 15 at the free throw line. And, of course, Syracuse wasn't very good at the free throw line either. But
look who was shooting those foul shots.
Yeah.
It was mostly the bigs. The guards weren't picking up a lot of weren't going to the line all that much.
Yeah. Well, they got Illinois in Nashville coming up at 8 o'clock on ESPN. I think that game's, is it Monday night?
I think so.
Yeah, Monday night. The Lady Vols, they've been out west this past week. UCLA put them on a pretty good 99-77, and then the other night they beat Stanford 65-62. Tony Iruli, we talk about turnovers. Tennessee hurt Stanford bad with full court pressure, and Stanford turned the ball over 30 times.
Wow.
That's
And
unbelievable.
That's pretty much the end of the discussion right there.
Sure.
And the fact that they were just getting beat by 3 points and turning it over 30 times is a little bit amazing in itself.
I never heard of 30 turnovers in a game. And, the pressure defense, creates opportunities. Absolutely.
And but there's something else to note there is, Tennessee is used to it, has gotten used to it at this point that there was a downside in transition after Pat. Stanford's is going through that same thing right now, and as you can see,
Yeah.
there is no good way to manage that.
Yeah.
Nobody has pulled that off.
Yeah.
And it's a very quick decline
Yeah.
from that elite level to being in that bottom part of the top 25, trying to get in and out, dropping in and out of the polls every week.
Well, it was a good win out there against the Cardinal for the Lady Vols. They got 25 points off turnovers. Off those 30 turnovers, they got 25 points. And points in the paint, 40 points in the paint, Donnie Moore, for the Lady Vols, 40. And off the bench, they got 18 points off of the bench. So it sort of looks like this team is pretty well inside-oriented.
Yeah, they are.
And pressure. Maybe getting the turnovers and then going down and getting easy buckets. And that seems to be the formula here early for them. They're going to be in action tomorrow at 2 o'clock at home against Winthrop. So we'll see how that comes out. Tony Iruli, signing day last Wednesday, right, for high school players?
Yeah.
How'd y'all do up at Carson Newman?
Well, it's really for your major college schools and your Division I AA schools. We're still in the process of looking for recruits. We can sign players, but a lot of the players that we're recruiting, they want to hold off a little bit to see if there's any more opportunities occur.
Yeah.
So, we're at a point right now that we're looking at people that are going in willing to transfer, wants to join Carson Newman. And we've been extremely active here the last several weeks.
Yeah. Tennessee has said, I know we got to get out of here, Donnie, but Tennessee has said that this is the best recruiting class I believe they've had since Josh Heupel has been there.
Yeah.
I got a question. They've signed another quarterback. They got several quarterbacks over there right now, Coach Iruli.
Yeah.
And, they're going into an expanded schedule next year. Do you bring along one of those young quarterbacks and bring him on? Or somebody hadn't played, or do you go out in the transfer portal like they didn't get him another quarterback? And if you go out in the transfer portal and get you another quarterback, an experienced guy, or Aguilar wins the court case and decides to come back, we don't know what's going to happen with him.
You're right.
We don't know what's going to happen with him. But why you got all these quarterbacks over here if you're going to transfer portal every year?
Right. And well, I think, obviously, this year they had to go in the transfer portal because they were forced to. But I think that, they want to go ahead and try to develop a young quarterback to end up being the heir apparent at the quarterback position. They're thinking that they can possibly retain their current quarterback for one more year, and then let the young guy develop.
Yeah,
but I think that's what they're thinking right now.
The best young quarterback in America today, I feel like, is C.J. Carr up at Notre Dame, freshman quarterback.
Yeah,
lost to Miami and Texas A&M in the first two games by a total of 4 points.
4 points.
And now have gone 10 straight off. Yeah. There's an example of a freshman that's really come on and done well with a lot of pressure on him, and looks like they're going to be in the playoffs. We're going to know, tomorrow. Yeah. But there's a story there where you got a freshman, and you can look forward to a few more years after this year with
that's
him.
what you're hoping for. And, just think this time last year he was playing in high school. Now he's leading Notre Dame into the national playoffs. And I think that's absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, so that's the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll take a timeout here, and when we return, Donnie Moore will provide some high school basketball scores from around the area and update us on a little bit about Alcoa and their football game today for the state championship. And there will be some other news from around the area with veteran sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons when he presents his segment, Mark It Down. You're listening to the GoTeez Sportspage, Blount County Sports Voice, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
For over 90 years, Anderson Lumber Company in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. Locally owned, so the money made here stays here. Whether you're renovating a kitchen, bath, new floors, doors, or windows, Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store and can take care of you from design to install. We welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa for all your home's needs, or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
Welcome back to the GoTeez Sportspage. Donnie Moore, life in sports right now is good, is it not? We got college football playoffs going on and conference championships and high school state championships being played for, and high school basketball's in full swing, college basketball's in full swing.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't get any better, does it?
No, not this time of
Yeah.
year. It sure doesn't.
It's all yours.
It's a great. Thank you, brother. This is our local focus, sponsored by our friends at Mandy B Street Realty. We appreciate their sponsorship and hanging with us for all these years. And the big thing, high school football. Big thing right now. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and today, this is the pinnacle of high school football in Tennessee. Thursday night was the Division II championships, A, AA, AAA. And the Blue Cross Bowls are set up for 3 games a day, 11 o'clock Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 7 p.m. Eastern. And they run everybody out of the stadium between games and then back in with new tickets and all this stuff. So, you can't just go and watch for the day unless you pay 3 times.
No, there's a day pass.
They do have a day pass.
There's a day pass.
Okay. In Division II, Nashville Christian School absolutely put on a show in the Single A division. They beat University School of Jackson 59-7, and don't recall his name right now, but Nashville Christian School's quarterback is phenomenal. He was one of the 2 phenomenal quarterbacks that we saw in the last couple of days. He is the number 1 ranked player in the country. This quarterback is, and he's pretty dang good. But anyway, in Single A, Nashville Christian 59, University School of Jackson 7. In the AA contest, 2 academies battled right there, and one of them having that in its name, Battleground Academy, from Franklin, Tennessee. Really put it on Franklin Road Academy.
Mm-hmm. Another Franklin.
61-27. Came out fast. Battleground Academy came out fast and stayed. Kept the gas pedal down all the way. In the AAA contest, it was a game between 2 AAA powerhouses in Division II. Baylor versus Brentwood Academy. If you know anything about Brentwood Academy, you know they've won numerous state championships. But they were defeated 28-24 by Baylor yesterday. Baylor out of Chattanooga.
Best game of Thursday.
It was the best game of the day. You're right.
The late game is tended to be the best game, and it was again.
It was again on Friday. We're moving on, transitioning on to Friday to Division I. The first game was the 3A classification, in which Gatlinburg-Pittman had high hopes of a state championship.
Yeah.
Hopes were dashed by Westview, 62-21.
If you got to feel for GP, they
Yeah,
finally got Alcoa out of their classification.
That's right. Open up the
had
door.
a really good team, and they get to the state championship game, and the first play from scrimmage is an 80-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, no kidding.
And you gave up a 99-yarder too, didn't
Gave
they?
up a 99 one in the second quarter. And Graham Simpson, sophomore quarterback for Westview, we were talking about him.
Yes.
As a freshman last year, he had a good game against Alcoa that kept that one interesting.
Yeah, he did.
But
how many yards did he end up throwing for?
9 state records yesterday.
Wow.
Threw for over 590 yards. Had the longest scoring play in championship game history with a 99-yard touchdown pass in the second quarter. Had a really good game. I think they went out in coverage and left him wide open and running for a 26-yarder.
Yeah.
Westview had
Phenomenal
a
day for
really good day. Best game they've played all
Yeah,
year.
they really did. And Westview, of course, is out of Martin, Tennessee.
Correct. And the quarterback is the son of the head coach
At
at UT Martin.
Right.
And I didn't realize until he told me. And his brother is the starting quarterback
At Alabama.
at Alabama. So he got some pretty good connections right there.
I got to
some
talk
good
to him
genes,
last year before the Alcoa game, and one of the things we asked him was what Thanksgiving dinner was like around that table where you've got 3 quarterbacks plus dad.
Yeah.
That if anybody got to talk about anything but football when they all got together.
Well, next up on the agenda yesterday at 3 p.m. was the single A championship game. South Pittsburgh came and took care of business against McKenzie High School. McKenzie just did not have a good game. They were overmatched, I thought.
Well,
But-
South Pittsburgh's run through everybody this year.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
they have,
And
they
it's
have.
traditionally a very strong powerhouse.
Sure, it is. Anyway, South Pittsburgh ends up winning 42-14 over McKenzie. Moving on to the 5A game, which was the nightcap right there, the 7 o'clock game. And Marcus, like you said, best game of the day right there. Sevier County took on Fred J. Page High School
Okay.
out of Franklin, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just shortened it to Page most of the time. But
If you want to say Ravenwood's offshoot, that's what it is.
it pretty much is, yeah.
That's a lot of the players that were at Ravenwood a decade ago.
Pretty much. But anyway, Page came back in the second half and played much better than they did the first half. Sevier County kind of faded just a little bit, in my opinion, and ended up Page winning 21-14 over Sevier County. Sevier County was the reigning
Page
champion right there.
Page scored with about less than a minute to
Yes.
go
Yeah,
to win the game.
Right.
But, I mean, Sevier County went to half with a 7-0 lead. They opened the game with a 16-play drive
Yeah, yeah.
that consumed almost the entire first quarter.
Almost 11 minutes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
11 minutes and something.
I mean, Smoky Bear started strong, and that was like I
They
said, it
did.
was again the best game of the day was the nightcap.
Yeah, but
Sure.
I think offensively though they just kind of ran out of gas. They lost a lot of third and fourth down situations. Wasn't lost the production after that first drive.
Yeah, they
Page's
had,
defense caught up with them.
the
the
Page
second
took some
half.
things away.
Yeah,
And,
They did.
They were leading 14-7 at halftime, I believe. And Colorado. Let me just mention one thing. The defensive coordinator there at Sevier County is Mark Chait, who was my defensive line coach at Marysville College
Gotcha.
for 5-6 years. So he's done a fantastic job there, and congratulations to him and what he's done over there in Sevier County.
Well, that's a summary of what was the last couple of days. Moving on to what's going to be today. The 4A state championship game starts at 11 o'clock. The 2A follows at 3 p.m. And the 6A championship finishes things off tonight at 7 p.m. Let's take them a little bit out of order right here and talk about the 2A first. Marion County versus Huntingdon. 3 o'clock. Marion County's out of Jasper, and Huntingdon is a West Tennessee team.
Correct.
What do we know about them, Marcus?
well, we saw Marion County here against Eagleton.
Yeah.
Defending state champion, very solid team. Eagleton hung with them for a half, actually into the fourth quarter, but that's a veteran team, and they showed that. Huntington is much the same way, so I mean, and it's kind of like Alcoa or Maryville. It's one of those teams that's a program that's been good for decades at this point. There's a lot of tradition there, so it should be a good matchup.
That one's coming up at 3 p.m. today. You can watch it on the NFHS channel, which is if you got county cable, it's channel 7. The Knox, I think, is what they call that one.
WKNX.
Yeah, WKNX, the Knox. Let's move to the 6A matchup, and that's two powerhouses right there, Oakland and Ravenwood at 7 p.m. tonight. Two 6A teams that are steeped in tradition.
Yeah.
Powerful teams, powerful schools. They win more state championships than just football.
Right.
Those two do. I mean, they've got athletes top to bottom.
Yeah, it's 6A schools in the mid-state, and there's a lot of growth out there. So it should be a good matchup. We've seen this matchup before, And, you know, in the top 8 teams, there's very little separation between the top 8 teams in 6A. So this should be a good one. It should be like some of these others have gone.
It's not going to be a 69-20 game or something.
I wouldn't expect it to be that.
Yeah.
No.
Nope. And then, of course, the first game of the day, starting here very shortly.
16 minutes and 50 seconds.
There we go. Marcus has got a countdown over here. Is Alcoa versus Pearl Cone.
Yeah.
They've played before back when Alcoa was 3A and Pearl Cone was. Pearl Cone moved up to get away from Alcoa. And
well,
voila.
Yeah.
We were joking in the office yesterday
that was not their specific.
Alcoa and Pearl Cone are both schools that should be in 3A. They both petitioned to move up.
Yeah.
Out of their enrollment size to 4A.
Right.
And so you've got 2 of the 3 smallest schools in the classification playing for the state championship in 4A.
But that one goes off at kickoff at 11 a.m. Just like I said, very shortly, Eastern Standard Time, and Alcoa's looking for their 24th
overall, 11th in a row,
11th state championship in a row.
And what's amazing
we'll
about
see how it goes.
That string is they've been moving up in classification over that last 11-year period. And like I said, there really should be a 3A school, but they moved up to 4A because they couldn't find non-conference.
Well,
couldn't fill out a complete schedule.
Correct.
You know, and we're going to get on some of that realignment talk here shortly with some of the guests we got here. But you've got that. Alcoa did that before when they moved up to 3A when they were a 2A team back when we only had 5 classifications.
Right.
The thing that's going to be interesting is I've gone back and looked, and I've got one year that I'm not positive on, but I think this may be only the second time Alcoa has played the state championship game on a Saturday, because of the way the formula has always had whatever class they were in has always been on the Friday.
Correct.
So this should be somewhat interesting for them to be on a Saturday morning. I know that not to give too big a plug for people to change the station if you're in the car, but I believe Team Dunkel and 2 Hype Sports will have it on 94.3 for if you want the radio broadcast.
Good.
And I believe the NFHS is going to be the Blue Cross commentators. I don't believe you're going to be able to get them on NFHS Network. I think it's going to be the same as what you get on TV on Channel 4.
Yeah. Well, that's the synopsis of the TSSAA Blue Cross Bowl at University of Tennessee Chattanooga at Finley Stadium. And game's still going on today, so we'll if you want to head down there.
All right, let's
do it. Tony, I would like for the state of Tennessee, because it's such a football state.
Yeah.
When they get that Titan Stadium done down there, I'd like for them to move the high school championship games to Titan Stadium. You know, in Indiana, they play at Lucas Oil. Did you know that?
No, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they play in downtown Indianapolis. They play all of their
great environment and all that.
Exactly. Get them a chance to play where the Colts play, and that'd be a great thing for Tennessee.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that since they moved the championship games to Chattanooga, I mean, UTC's done a great job.
They have
putting that thing together. I know they were struggling when it was over at Tennessee Tech, a lot with the facility, something that's out of their control, but they've done an excellent job over.
Oh, they have a great facility down there.
Yeah,
they really do. Well, that's it for my portion today. I'm going to now throw a perfect spiral to my friend Marcus Fitzsimmons for his feature Mark It Down, after I tell you that you're listening to WKCE 92.5 FM and 1180 AM Mid-Century Radio.
If that's a perfect spiral, can he catch that?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter. He's got the wrong
one-handed.
He's got the wrong sport. All we need is a bounce pass, Donnie, because we've got Maryville boys basketball joining us today. We've got a couple players that have come in this morning. Guys, thanks for getting up on a Saturday morning to come hang out with us, especially since y'all had a road game last night. I want to kind of talk to you about the season and what's going on. And first off, let's say there's 1 million people in China not watching on this camera behind me, but go ahead and wave and introduce yourselves. I'm going to start with Jonathan. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what year you are and what position you're playing.
I'm Jonathan Woodley. I'm a senior point guard, and I'm committed to league.
I'm Eli Owensby, and I'm a guard. I'm a senior.
Luke Sigmund, center, senior.
I could kind of guess
Good
on the
deal.
center because he's the one sitting about 4 inches higher than everybody else. There you go. There you go. Stretch out for us. Guys, again, thanks for coming in. Luke, I'm going to pick on you because you're the big guy. Is that all right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so I'm just going to hack you here and send you to the line. Weird season for you guys, especially coming in. This is very different region than anything you all have had before. We were talking about with what it's done with football, but you guys have a 4-team district this year.
Yes, sir.
That leaves you 6 games to circle. Is that how this season kind of breaks down for you?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's definitely a different look, but obviously you get a free buy into regions. So, you know, we're thankful for that. But you know, the goal is still always to win the district, no matter who's in it. So we're looking forward to it. And obviously, it gave us some more games to schedule outside of districts, so we get to play some different guys and just get us ready for the playoffs. So,
Jonathan, does that give you all a different kind of look to the season, as that everything about the season is building for the tournament? Is that kind of how you all have to look at it?
That's how we've always prepared. Coach has always prepared a tough schedule, regular season heading up to the playoffs, so we're ready to go into the district tournament.
And how, what is, you guys have been there and done this. You've made postseason runs. What's the impetus this year for the seniors? Where are y'all looking towards the state tournament? Is that where it has to go?
Yeah, that's always the main goal with us, is obviously get to the state tournament, but definitely win more games than just one. But it just always starts with us, just one game in front of us and just winning that game and going forward. But I think for our senior year, we definitely want to leave a mark and be remembered as that team that was a great just overall team, played together, you know, and just made it really far and just honestly made history making to state 3 times back to back to back, which would be awesome, and especially just winning it. And so just leaving a mark for sure our senior year.
So we got 3 of you guys here that are seniors. How many more seniors on this team? How is it a senior laden team, or are you guys the 3?
we've got 2 more. We got Luke Robertson. He plays small forward 3, and then we got Lual as point guard. Absolute dogs though.
So 5 seniors on this group. I would assume that's where the leadership on this team is. Are you the ones that everybody's looking to?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what's that like? Because I mean, when you've got young guys coming in, you all are the ones that are telling them, "Hey, this is where the locker room is. This is where your towels go, and all that sort of stuff." Or how does that kind of meter down as to when you've got new guys coming in the program?
Well, I definitely think we always try to set an example for sure, but mostly with our team, we're all joking. We're always having fun, so just getting them included. And I wouldn't necessarily say the younger guys do everything. You know, as senior leaders, we try to, you know, take the towels or, you know, put the ball rack up in the locker room or just make sure the locker room's looking good. But mostly we just try to incorporate them as together in the team and just make everybody feel welcome. So.
Okay, so the most pressing question, and this one I'm sure I don't want you to give away program secrets here, but how much choreography and time do y'all spend into the introduction when y'all come onto the court and the starters are named, and there seems to always be how much time how much time gets devoted to that in the preseason?
None.
None.
Yeah.
Y'all make it up every game is different.
Yeah, every game is almost different. Needs to make it up as soon as warm-ups is done or something like that.
Okay, so it's not like baseball where they have orchestrated walkout music and they're flipping bats and y'all just whatever they play, y'all come out and you're ready to go.
Exactly, sir. We do have Garrett Moss, team manager, absolute goat down there, getting us ready for the handshakes. So coming out of the starting lineup. So.
Okay, give us some more on that. I mean, as a former team manager from middle school basketball, yes, I will say totally underappreciated position. Talk about you got a guy that's doing that kind of stuff.
Oh, it's so underappreciated. Honestly, without our team managers, especially Garrett Moss, I really don't know what we would do on this team. I mean, he's just a dog, and he gets us ready every game. he has the greatest halftime speeches of all time. It gets us hype every single time. So, I mean, he's awesome.
He has a big role for sure,
Yes, sir.
especially
Brings
team
that
manager.
fire.
You know, usually we expect like coach to have the halftime prep, but now we're finding out where this is really coming from. Okay, this is good to know. I'm going to assume preseason was a long process for you guys. What did you find out about yourselves in the off season coming into this year? Was there something y'all figured out in those running up and down the gym and before anybody's ever going to watch you?
For sure. I think us just playing open gym and stuff like that, just preparing for the season, it found out like who we really need to be playing and everything. But especially with just starting with the summer ball, when we were playing as a team in summer, going to BCAT, playing all those really tough teams like Nolensville, Beach, and all those teams, it really just like set apart like who we're playing and, you know, just the people on the team that we can trust in certain situations. So I think the preseason, the open gyms has got us prepared for the season ahead.
So we know the hallmark of a Coach Lambert team is generally going to start with your defense.
Always. Always.
They're all shaking their heads if you're just watching on the radio. They're all giving that nod that says, "Yep, that's exactly right." So, is he a Coach Barnes guy? Are you going to get pulled if your defense is off? Is that how it works?
Yeah,
For sure.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every
Especially if
time.
you're not talking on defense, that's the one thing that'll get you pulled immediately.
So, from the player's perspective, we kind of guess at what Tennessee guys think, but from you guys' perspective, is it a source of accountability for each other that you are expected to meet the defense first? Is it kind of something you all just can rely on?
We take pride in our defense, so it can turn into quick offensive points. We want to get turnovers, we want to get steals, so we can get out and run. We like to play fast, and it's just a fun way to play basketball, and that just starts on the defensive end.
So, is there a defensive alignment you all like the most? Like, does he let you get out into the traps a lot, or is it strictly man to man? What?
I mean, we definitely like to play man. I don't think we're really much of a zone team, so we don't like to sit back in that. But we definitely just like to get up in people and make them uncomfortable and see if we can, make something happen so we can get out in transition. I mean, I think most of our points come from transition right now, so we want to get out and dunk and get the highlights and stuff, obviously. So.
Now, you brought up the key word. He said it. I did not bring it up, Donnie.
No, you
He
did.
brought up the word dunk. Okay, so we've got the big guy. We've also got the point guard. How often do you look to see if he's got the chance that nobody's got between him and the rim?
Eli throws most of the lobs. I mean,
yeah, we have this one play where it's just automatic lobs, and it's worked for us now. And we have a couple out of bounds plays that just get him, the ball so we can get the dunk. But everybody, especially me and him, we like to throw the lobs, get the energy going, because it usually shuts down the gym. So it's a good way to get everybody excited.
Especially your home crowd. You've got a student section that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
In comparison to a lot of places you can play.
I think the best thing is that when we're away and everybody's just, cheering down on us, hating on us, and we throw that lob and he just dunks it and everybody's like, oh, and they go quiet. So that's the best feeling for sure.
So, what's the preference? Do you want it in front of you, or do you like it when there's nobody? You don't have anybody on your back.
I don't really know, honestly. I mean, either way is fine. My preference is get Eli to get a little double team and just nobody guarding me. He just throws it to the rim. I just dunk it. But obviously, I like to have somebody in front of me so I can dunk on somebody. But
Now we'll ask you the really tough one here. In that rare moment, we won't say it's ever happened, but if it doesn't go down, do you just head down the court and pretend it didn't happen, or how do you handle that situation when it doesn't go down?
Honestly, I might blame it on the bad lob first.
Okay, that's a good Bucks man answer.
Yeah, if it's not a lob, I might say the ball's wet. I don't really know, but maybe I got fouled. I don't know, but yeah, you just head back down the court and try and get the ball back and just.
Is that where you go back to your defense? And
yeah.
You just make sure you're talking a lot at that point about
yes, sir.
defense.
Yeah. Make sure you're doing extra on the defensive side, playing extra help and definitely staying in that stance so I don't get pulled for that.
So, John, I'll ask you. This team seems like it's very versatile, that it can go inside, but you all also have an outside presence. Does it feel like this team can play with anybody and can kind of dictate what you all want to do as far as shooting inside or taking it outside?
Yes, sir. I believe we can really play with anybody. We've seen RWE and Bartlett play together. I mean, I think we can hang with the best of them, and I think we're very versatile. Outside and inside. When you have a big like Sig, and then Eli, he's a shooter, and then we have Cade and Kai. I mean, yeah, we just have a lot of good pieces that if we get it together, then we can play with almost anybody in the country.
It's called a team, right? Yeah. Got a good team. So that's what basketball's all about.
Exactly.
I was a couple things I was going to pull out from the season because it's really just started, but y'all had the trip down to Huntsville for the 2 games during Thanksgiving. Sometimes I think those holiday tournaments are as much about the road trip and spending the time, that intense time together, as anything that happens with the games. Was it kind of like that for you guys? Like you're out of school and you got 2 days just to think nothing about basketball with each other. Is that kind of what happens on those trips?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely one of the most memorable things is when we go down and we're all riding together, making memories and laughing. But it gets to a point where we're about to get ready for the game. Definitely we have to turn the switch on and lock in. But once we play the game, after that we're all jokes. Like we all hang out. We all go get food together. So I would say definitely the car rides down, all the conversations.
Nice.
It's truly memorable and it's a lot of fun for sure.
So it does translate it to a bit of a camaraderie for the team, is that there are things that can happen off the court that make you better on the court.
Exactly. It definitely improves the team chemistry. All of us just hanging out in hotel rooms when we get to pick who we want and have friends in there. So it's definitely a lot of fun.
Okay, we're going to have to go to a commercial. I appreciate you guys coming in. I saved the best question for last, and I'm going to ask each of you to kind of pitch in unless it's a unison vote here. But what's the worst thing Coach Lambert can say in practice that makes everybody just kind of hang their head and go, "Oh God"? What's the worst call that he can say?
Worst call.
Probably on the line.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah, I
line.
was going to say probably on the line.
I think that's our winning vote so far. I believe we got the same thing from our last basketball team from another
Hey,
coach.
I got one quick question. Which Coach Lambert is the calmest during the game?
Wes
Lambert.
He's the calmest.
100%. Oh, my God.
Oh, you go. Some things just never change. Okay.
Okay, guys, we appreciate you coming in. I know y'all get a lot of radio calls, especially with the success you've already had this season. We wish you the best of luck down the road. And Mike, we'll go ahead and turn the page real quick.
You know, I got to thinking about that manager, and how he inspires these guys and fires them up. Reckon we can get him in here on Saturday morning and inspire us before we go on the air.
Might need that from time to time.
We need a little kick every once in a while. But good to have you guys on this morning, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
For the holidays.
I liked how they just jumped in all just, Wes, he's the calmest.
Yeah. Yeah, that was unanimous.
That was the quickest answer they came up with.
Yeah. Hey, time to turn the page. Next up is the Anderson Lumber Company Player of the Week segment. You're listening to the GoTeez Sportspage, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at stevensontire.net.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards along with the rest of our broadcast crew. And now it's time for the Sports Page Player of the Week segment featuring Daily Times senior reporter Marcus Fitzsimmons, sponsored by Anderson Lumber Company, where quality service is always a priority. Proudly serving Blount County for over 100 years. And Marcus,
since 1925. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
That's a long time to be in business.
Yeah.
They've done good.
They
done
sure
good.
have.
Yeah, they sure have. Marcus, you got Heritage basketball in here this morning. Big win for them last night. County rival game. Rival game.
The Mountaineers are in the house.
Yeah.
And kind of like they play the games. We had Coach Howard in here a couple weeks ago with some of his players. So now we've got the guys in here, and we didn't get them in the scoreboard. So let me go ahead and give those from last night's rivalry game. Lady Mountaineers took a 56-32 win over William Blount. And then in the boys' game, Heritage Mountaineers, who were with us here this morning, 57-46 win in the rivalry game. And guys, thanks for getting up this morning after the big win and coming in to visit with us. Coach, let me open with you. This isn't a district game anymore. It's kind of gone away from that, but this game still gets played and it still matters, doesn't it?
Yeah, it matters. There's a lot of electricity in the gym last night. It's a good environment. Both teams played really hard. Thought we played well defensively to hold them to 46. Did a good job on some of their scores. And these two guys were a big part of that. Ethan Bryant down here to my left played well on both ends, and they made it a point, William Blount did, to kind of get after this other guy to my left here, Eli Williams, and try to limit his touches as much as they could. And he didn't have his normal scoring game. He's been averaging like 28 a game. He got about half that last night, but they did a good job with that. It was a good basketball game, real good environment.
Well, I'm gonna let you brag on these guys a little bit, and you can start with Eli. You mentioned 28 points a game.
Yeah.
What's he bringing to the team right now?
He's very difficult to defend, and Coach Edwards can appreciate this. Prior to last night, I'll have the stat report back from last night's game. He's shooting 52% from the three-point line. In six games up until last night. I don't know if I've ever had a player shoot at that clip. Just works at it, works tremendously hard away from it. I don't have to push him at all. He pushes himself, plays all the time, loves the game. It's had a great start to the season, just offensively, and he's a better defender. When he first came in as a freshman, and he started from day one for us.
Yep.
He has, and I could sit here and talk about Eli all day and what he's been to our program. He's been a big reason why we've kind of turned the corner and had the success we've had the last 2-3 years.
When you got somebody that can shoot the ball from that three-point range, a lot of people don't understand that. It really opens it up and spreads that court for everybody else, especially inside, Coach.
It does. Last night, early in the game, we're a team that sets a lot of ball screens, middle of the floor, side of the floor. And, of course, anytime that we set one for him or maybe even Gavin French, a lot of teams will just jump out. They're going to send two because they want the ball out of their hands. And when it does, it just opens up our post game. And in our post last night, Red Hall, he got a lot of touches in the first half just because of this guy right here and Gavin just, trying to get the ball out of their hands. That's exactly right.
Well, I won't let him take all the spotlight. Go ahead and brag on Ethan too a little bit.
And Ethan had a great summer for us, playing in summer camps. Really scored for us quite a bit, and has really kind of turned that into. Kind of thought he was going to have a good year for us this year, playing a whole lot more. He's starting for us. Probably one of the best athletes we got on the team. He can defend, he can score, he can get to the bucket. Had a really good game last night on both sides of the floor. Instrumental in helping us win. He's been a big part of what we've done so far, and I think he's going to continue to have a big year for us. Looking forward to that.
Guys, let me ask you from the players' perspective here. First off, we'll start with the rivalry, but how much does this one still matter to the players? How much bragging rights still go into this one?
Yeah. Obviously, it still matters. It's a big game for me, a big game for Ethan. It's a big game for the whole team because we've watched this program from the early days for sure. And I don't know about everybody else, but I know me and Gavin were sitting there about 2018 through 20 till we got to high school, just watch them lose, and it was just like every time football, basketball, no matter what, it's just you got that hate. So anytime you can beat them, it's pretty good.
Do they know that there's a former William Blunt coach at the table here?
I'm sure Eli's dad knows. I don't know if Eli knows.
It's okay. You can say what you want. He can just suck, suck it up because y'all won last night. And I'll put this one to you as well. This is a whole different look this year, and I was wondering how the players have kind of absorbed it. You only got 8 games that really count in this thing because you got a 5-team district. Does that let y'all circle some stuff and kind of approach the season a little different this year?
Yeah, probably. It's just district games are obviously the big. That's what matters. The league is the biggest thing out of all of it. So scheduling outside of the district games, making sure we're playing hard teams. We're not just breezing through, like some people have, but just trying to play some quality opponents to get ready for the end of the season, which basketball is a postseason sport, so you have to be ready for it.
Coach, what's it done for you? I mean, I'm looking at this schedule, and it's a pretty good schedule here. You got stacked up. It's not just an automatic stacking of wins here. So, did it let you do some things schedule-wise to kind of build this team towards the postseason?
Yeah, and I knew that we had we had some guys coming back, some solid players coming back, and we wanted to test where we were going to be early. And last night was it's anytime we beat William Blunt, it's a good win. But we had another good win on Tuesday against Fulton, who's a great program with a great coach. And those are the kind of games that we've kind of went out and scheduled. The Fultons, we've played Austin East, we're playing Maryville twice. Of course, we play Alcoa twice in our league now. We're playing the 5-star preps. We play Fulton again. We're in there with Oak Ridge and in Sevier County and Alcoa and Catholic. So I mean, like Eli said, it's a postseason game. What happens during the regular season outside the district is only going to make you better when you get into February and hopefully into March. It's where you want to be playing is into March. So we kind of took that step to go out, and we had some people call that normally may not have played. Jody Wright called me and said, I've got one game open, and I said, well, Coach, so do we. And he said, you want to play? And I thought for about 2 seconds. I said, yeah, let's just go ahead and do it, and we'll play you here, and we'll go to your place next year. So. I think guys like playing against, really good teams. It's going to, bring out the best in them. And I think that's done that for us so far this year, playing against some good competition.
Well, let's find out.
Yeah.
we'll put Ethan on the spot here. But do the players, do you like this? I mean, I'm looking at some of these games y'all have played already. And like Coach said, you had Fulton, you played Powell, you played Austin East. I mean, do you like having – guys you can match up against? And
yeah, I mean, obviously I just like competing, so playing against the best of the best. I mean,
it's more fun than that cupcake game, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I would assume that's because they get to play past the first quarter, because some of these cupcake games, you're sitting in the second quarter and you don't see the court again. Guys, what was the off season like for this team, knowing what you had coming back? It feels like the team had a lot that you all could work and build on and kind of say, hey, we're in a position to make a run. Is that kind of how the offseason went? Was there a lot of dedication, a lot of showing up and extra stuff?
Yeah, for sure. This summer was basically so we have 3 guys who have played varsity basketball on the team right now, me, Ethan, and Gavin French, the 3 guys that have played any minutes. Everybody else had not played any. So the biggest point was make sure everybody gets experience against good teams. So we went to Nashville to play. I think how many games did we play? 4.
BCAT, 4 games.
Yeah, 4 games. We played all 4 good teams. From Memphis, Nashville, wherever, and pretty much the point was to get experience and putting people in game time situations that they had even never been in. So just experience was the biggest thing this summer, is getting everybody game time.
And the other part, I was leading you into that, and thank you for pointing it out. But you guys have been around, and I tossed this question to Marable as a joke earlier, but for you all, it's a lot more real. How much leadership did you have to kind of step into? I mean, down to the level of, okay, guys, this is where the towels go. This is when you show up for practice. This is how we do things. How much of, were you all needing to do when you've got that many new guys on varsity?
Yeah, you just have to. It felt weird because last year we had a bunch of guys that were really experienced. So then this year, it was like a sort of like a shock in the summer where it was just like you had to tell them almost every little thing in practice. Like, here's how this drill goes. Here's how this drill goes. It was an interesting experience for sure. But no, I like it. I mean, it's something new. It's something fresh. That's why you play a game. Something different.
Coach, it helps when you've got at least a couple to help lead the way, right?
Yeah, and we've got some good. I mean, some of the guys who didn't play much varsity last year, they're playing a lot this year. I mean, they're great kids. They're very coachable, like these two guys are. We knew last year that we lost not necessarily guys that were great scorers and produced a lot point wise, but just guys that had played a lot, knew how to play, and what I say, they had some toughness physically and mentally, and we lost some of that, and we're trying to build some of that early in the year by playing some of these people and going, like Eli said, and going into summer and playing against some good people, different places, different camps.
Do you like the potential when you've got that many new guys, like during the course of the season, if things are going on the right way, you just feel like they're getting better week to week. Do you like where they might be in January?
I do, and I've seen some things already. We've had some guys who didn't play a lot last year that are getting big minutes for us and starting to coming off the bench, who have done some things. I mentioned Rhett Hall, playing good on both ends of the floor. He's big. He's about 6'5". He's strong. He can score. Hit a big three for us last night. William Blunt was kind of making a run at us there in the third quarter, and he hit a big three. Tanner Heath can make some shots as well for us. Hudson Brown is a sophomore, really good athlete who does some good things. I mean, they're learning. They're learning right now, and that's what it's about. And hopefully, they keep learning. And by January rolls around, they're going to be better, and we're going to be better.
Good grief! Well, I'm pointing out, Donnie, we're listening to you, but I wanted to give the update we promised during the break. But Blue Cross Bowl has kicked off, and Alcoa has opened up with a 6-0 lead. So if you're not watching, you can tune in on that and listen to us at the same time. That's what we want to tell people. Or you can save us and come back and watch us on Facebook later.
Now 7-0.
But, Coach, so I'm looking at what you got in this region, or district, I should say.
Right.
And, make sure I've got this right because it seems to change every year at this point. But it's you guys, Loudon, Alcoa, South Dual, and Sequoia.
Yes, sir.
So it's not like it's not 8 teams, but it's still somebody's not going to make regions out of that.
Right.
And
right.
There's a lot not to be that 4 or 5 spot.
I agree.
So what is this team like when you stack them up and look and see what you've got to do? Like, what has to happen between now and the start of district play?
Well, we open up Tuesday, so and I know.
So it's better be done.
Yeah, I know it's a cliche, and I know it's a sports cliche, but just playing one at a time. We play one before Christmas, and then we get into the meat of our district schedule after Christmas. So the focus is Tuesday night. We got South Dole at home. We need to get that one to start off on a positive note. The last couple of years. In the regular season, we've had quite a bit of success in our old district, but now you got Alcoa coming in. You got I'm not trying to take any away from Lenore City. Lenore City moves up, Alcoa moves up. Alcoa is a really good program. They've lost in the state championship. They played in the state championship game last year, won it the 2 years before that in 2A. So we're aware of what Alcoa has coming in. And I think some of our other district teams, I think Sequoia is going to be better. They were basically really young last year and pretty much return a lot of guys. I think Loudon is going to be better. And, South Dole beat Halls last night. So, I think it's going to be a competitive league. But I think right now, Alcoa coming in, that's going to be tough for a lot of us. But, we're going to go with what we got and see what happens.
And maybe you can answer this one for us, and maybe you don't know any more than we do.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, especially in East Tennessee, like we ended up with some very small districts on this side of the state.
Right.
Where Maryville's in a 4, you guys are in a 5. Alcoa's with that 5.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the 8-team districts? I mean,
well,
where did that all go?
I think when you went to 4 classes, that did that. I mean, when you had the 3-class system, you had those 7 and 8-team leagues, which Heritage used to be in when they were a 3A school. But now it's kind of like in football, you see some as well with 6 classes. You have all those classifications. I mean, you got fewer teams, and you got teams that are traveling. And they're traveling a little bit to go play district games, particularly at those single A and double A levels.
Sure.
So. That's what we're doing right now. So who knows? 4 or 5 years it may change back, and they may decide, well, we're going to shrink things again. Who knows?
And I'll put this one on the players, and Donnie's giving me that little signal we take a break. You guys had hosted the Thanksgiving tournament. Had good competition. Got a good game that second day. When y'all are hosting the tournament, do y'all look forward to that as like this is a chance, we're going to be around the gym for a couple days and pretty much be here? Or is it like, man, we're going to have to run the concession stand, do popcorn, clean the floor, whatever coach tells us to do? Do y'all look forward to it or kind of dread it a little bit?
I would say we look forward to it because just staying at home, not having to – I love breaks because you get to just focus on basketball. There's no school. You're just – you feel like a college player almost or an NBA player just playing basketball, just – no other worries.
Yeah, and it's just much better than having to travel somewhere over Thanksgiving break to go play. You can just stay at home, still do everything you would do normally.
Coach, how about for you?
Just get sleep a little later.
Do you have to go out and recruit the moms to make chili for the hospitality room and all that sort of stuff, or does that all get taken care of?
That's already been taken care of. We got wonderful parents. They do that. That's all set up beforehand. I'm like these guys. I like the time off. We got those first 2 days off, Monday and Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So I think we played 3 games over the break, and it was just really nice. Just going to practice or watching film and not having to go to school. Like Eli said, you're just focusing on the basketball part of it. We enjoy that.
All right. Guys, we appreciate you coming in this morning. Congratulations on the rivalry win last night. I know you're going to get the second dose of that right after Christmas, so keep your edge on, and we appreciate you getting up this morning to come to visit with us. Mike, we'll go ahead and turn the page.
Okay, Mark, it's time for a break. When we return, it's the Boyd Sports Spotlight. You're listening to the GoTeez Sportspage, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at stevensontire.net.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, and it's time for the Boyd Sports Spotlight segment. Donnie Moore.
Yes, sir.
A few things going on nationally, huh?
We do, yeah. I mean, it's a good, like you said, it's a good week for sports. And you know, we'll start it off here with our sports headlines segment. That's brought to you as always by our friends at Fast Signs.
Okay, so Donnie.
Yeah.
score update. Alcoa's up 14-0.
14-0.
Cade Stennett has a fumble return for a touchdown that just went down. So we're just over 2 minutes into the championship game, and Alcoa's got a 14-0 lead.
Wow.
14-0.
Great job.
Yeah, go Tornadoes. Former University of Florida head football coach Billy Napier, fired by the Gators mid-season, is finalizing a 5-year deal to become the next head coach at James Madison University.
Wow.
Good for him.
A formal announcement is expected today. The former head coach of the Dukes was Bob Chesney, who left for the West Coast and UCLA. Napier was 22-23 in 4 seasons at Florida, but only 12-16 versus SEC schools, and 4-16 against ranked SEC opponents. He was also a dismal 0-14 on the road versus ranked teams.
Yeah. It'll be a lot easier at James Madison.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, he's going in there and he's going to have a little bit of pressure because,
Yeah.
you know, Signetti, you know, he was at James Madison before he went to Indiana. Look what he's done up there. And now this coach is
UCLA.
You know, they're a playoff contender, and he's going out to UCLA. So it's not like going into a rebuild job.
No,
you know,
absolutely
he's
not.
going into a program that's already up there on top. So there's going to be a little bit of pressure on him here.
Well, James Madison has reason to believe he'll be a good fit back in the Sun Belt Conference, though. Napier went 40-12 in 4 seasons as the head coach at Louisiana, including 3 seasons with 10 or more wins.
Okay.
So he's had some success in the Sun Belt Conference.
He's had some training in that.
He has indeed.
Well, good for him.
Yep.
Well, Brandon Aubrey may not be a name that on everybody's mind, but he's the kicker for the Dallas Cowboys. He set or extended 3 NFL records in the Cowboys' loss, 44-30, to Detroit on Thursday Night Football this week. One of them, the set that he set was most field goals of 55 yards or more in a single game, 3. Number 2, most field goals of 60 yards or more in a single season, 3. And most career field goals of 60 yards or more, 5. He's got 5.
Wow.
And there have been 9 field goals of 60 yards or more in the NFL this season, and Aubrey has 3 of them.
Wow.
3 out of 1/3 of them out of the 9. No other kicker in the league has more than 1.
Wow.
So he's putting it through the uprights.
Yeah, he's fared better than that kicker at New York for the Giants.
Oh, my goodness.
He kind of fell all over himself.
Stubbed his toe on the turf. And oh, man.
You had to feel for that guy, didn't you?
I sure did.
Yeah, when you look at it, his approach, his plant foot was way ahead of the ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should have been right next to it.
Right,
he
right.
Almost fell down.
You know, he was giving some excuse. Well, the holder ball kind of moved.
Yeah.
And, no, his plant foot should be right about even with the
Exactly.
ball. And it was about a good foot and a half
good,
ahead. So it's like dubbing a golf shot.
Yeah, they showed the bench, and one of the players, you could read his lips, and he was going, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, and rolling his eyes.
I've never seen anything like that before. Have you, Coach?
No.
At any level.
Yeah, even I had better field goals than that.
And you know, after you do that one time, it's probably kind of going through your head a little bit. You know how kickers are. It's a sight deal with kickers.
Oh, yeah.
You're a kicker, Donnie.
Donnie's been there. He knows how it is. A lot of it's mental.
I believe he should have just dropped back and drop kicked one.
Or maybe said, "I'll try one with my left foot."
Yeah.
It would have gone just as far.
Yeah.
It would, no doubt. Well, Lakers superstar LeBron James has scored at least 10 points in 1,297 consecutive regular season games since January the 5th of 2007. But that streak came to an end on Thursday versus the Toronto Raptors. James was held to only 8 points in the game. The Lakers won, however, 123-120.
Did he take a nap?
I don't
just wonder if he.
No. He had the assist for the winning 3-pointer.
Well, that was after he took his nap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely.
So basically, comes out to about 16 years.
Yeah.
Of 10 points.
That he scored 10 points plus in a regular season game.
I'd still have him on my team.
No doubt. Okay. The Contemporary Era Hall of Fame Ballot Committee meets this weekend at the Major League Baseball winter meetings. A result of the meeting will likely be at least one new member of the Baseball Hall of Fame, but it probably won't be Barry Bonds. On the 2023 ballot, Bonds fell woefully short of election, receiving somewhere between 0 and 3 votes.
Wow.
Only.
Wow.
If so, the committee wouldn't specify exactly how many votes he got, but they said he got between 0 and 3.
Okay. Wow.
If so, Bonds would not be eligible again until the 2032 ballot.
Wow.
So if he doesn't get elected this time, he's in for a long dry spell.
Pete Rose has a better chance of getting into the Hall of Fame than Barry Bonds does.
There you go. In light of the June and July hosting of the FIFA World Cup by the United States, Mexico, and Canada, the U.S. men's national team will play a series of international friendly matches. In March, the team will play Belgium on the 28th, Portugal on the 31st, and Germany on June 6th at Soldier Field in Chicago. So they're preparing for this, for the FIFA World Championship, FIFA Cup. The Formula One Series has 3 contenders for this season's Drivers' Championship and will probably be decided at this season's finale, the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi, on Sunday. That's tomorrow, by the way. For the first time since 2021, Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, who are both McLaren teammates, and Max Verstappen will race for the title.
Yeah.
Who's your money on, Mike?
I don't know. Verstappen,
he's hard to beat.
He's been there before.
Man, he's hard to beat.
You know that race out there? It's out in the desert.
Yeah.
And they
that's about all it's in Abu Dhabi.
Several years ago, they moved it to the night.
Yeah.
You know why they moved it to night, Tony?
Tires got melted?
No.
Tires melted?
The wind blew sand.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
those.
So they put the lights up. I think it was one of the first tracks on Formula One that they put the lights up there. So that's pretty exciting stuff in Formula One, because usually that's way over.
Yeah.
That's way over before we get to this point.
Right.
So got 3 drivers, and it goes down to one race.
3 drivers down to one race.
You're getting in NASCAR territory.
You sure are, no doubt.
Or IndyCar territory, where it goes down to one. Couple guys, right there in the last race. Makes it exciting.
It sure does. Sure does. I'll be interested to see how that turns out.
Yes, sir.
On this day in sports, November 6th, 1961, Tony.
All right.
Heisman Trophy was awarded to Syracuse running back Ernie Davis, the first African-American to win the award.
They did a great movie on him.
They did.
About 10 years ago. And it was really
I saw
a special movie.
1973, the National League votes to move the San Diego Padres to Washington, D.C., but it doesn't come to fruition. You know why? Because Ray Kroc, McDonald's magnate, stepped in and bought the team to keep it from getting moved.
That's right.
He did.
Right. So they were going to go to Washington.
Yeah. They were going to D.C.
Wow.
Now, can you imagine the D.C. Padres?
No.
Now, it just doesn't sound right, does it?
No, not in Washington.
Doesn't sound right. 1975, the Heisman Trophy was awarded to Ohio State running back Archie Griffin.
Yep. He was a great one.
Didn't he win it back-to-back?
Yeah, he won it back-to-back.
Back-to-back. Sure did. 1984, Helena Sukova snaps Martina Navratilova's 74-match winning streak at the Australian Open in Melbourne.
Wow.
74 matches in a row.
She was an awesome player.
She was hard to beat, man. She was tough. I'm telling you. 1986, Heisman Trophy awarded to Miami quarterback Vinny Testaverde. Yeah,
right.
Vinny Testaverde.
Vinny.
1992, 49ers wide receiver Jerry Rice catches an NFL record 101 touchdown passes.
Still the record?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that, but I think it is. Boy, Jerry Rice was.
Well, he got a lot of passes from Joe Montana.
No kidding. That was pretty good connection right there.
Had a pretty good guy throwing them to him.
2018, Derrick Henry, the running back for the Tennessee Titans, ties the Cowboys Hall of Fame running back Emmitt Smith for the longest run in NFL history, 99 yards.
Can't get any more than that.
Nope. Not in the NFL, you can't. Birthdays. 1921, Cleveland Browns quarterback Otto Graham.
Okay.
Good name. Died in 2003. 1945, the Phillies second baseman Larry Boa was born. Happy birthday to Larry Boa.
He was a good ball player.
Born
Tough,
in
hard-nosed.
Sacramento, California.
Yeah, him and Pete Rose got into
Got in
it.
a fight. Yeah,
They did, yeah.
Pete Rose slid
Playoff
hard
game
into him.
one
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Yep,
I
they
remember
sure
that.
did.
Wow.
1992, born on this day, Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, born on this day, American football quarterback, won the Heisman in 2012, played at Texas A&M and then for the Browns, Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, he
Johnny
has
Manziel,
his,
very outspoken,
very
shall we say?
Yeah.
Color-
I can't say anything about it.
Colorful. How's that?
Very colorful, yes,
Colorful.
very colorful. Born on this day in 1994, Giannis Antetokounmpo. The NBA Finals MVP in 2021. Played for the Bucks. Born in Athens, Greece. He's 31
There you
years
go.
old today.
A Greekster.
Yeah. Deaths. Died on this day in 1955. Honus Wagner. Hall of Fame shortstop for the Pirates. Died at 81 years of age.
I think he had isn't he the all-time batting leader? Average, I think,
Could-
like a
could very well be.
424 batting average, something like that in a season, something like that.
Yep. Died on this day in 1996. Pete Rozelle, NFL commissioner from 1960 to 1989. Long time. Died of brain cancer at 70 years old.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of things happened during that period, didn't it?
Man
You had the
alive.
merger and
All the stuff that he was involved with and all that.
Super Bowl, and man, I'm
the
telling you.
money going into
2017, died on this date, a guy by the name of Cy Young.
Wow, you're going way back.
2017.
He died in 2017. Yeah.
Cy Young? How old was he? 120?
He had to be over 100.
89 years old.
I thought he was okay.
I'll have to go back and look to see when he was born. See if
you
that,
better check that
see if
out.
that was accurate.
Yeah. Good, Marcus. Marcus is on it right now.
And in 2000,
He's on that computer right now.
Cy Young was born March 29th, 1867.
so I don't think that's correct.
And died November 4th, 1955.
1955. Okay.
Must be a different Cy Young.
Yeah.
It must have been
He was
some
the
relation-
only
some relation to him.
He was the only U.S. male to win the gold in the javelin throw in the 1952 Olympics.
Oh, no, we're talking about.
So this may be a completely different.
This is a totally different Cy Young.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, can I interrupt with the score update?
Yeah, go ahead. Update.
So
Give
East
us an update.
Nashville drove and scored to catch 14-7.
Pearl Cone.
Pearl Cone.
Yeah.
Damari DeBose ran back the ensuing kickoff for a touchdown, so it was 21-7, still in the first quarter.
Wow.
Any more on Cy Young?
No, 2000. No.
Back to Cy Young.
Not that one. Not that Cy
This
Young.
is the
anyway.
javelin thrower.
Yeah, he's the javelin thrower. 2022, Mills Lane. Sound familiar?
No.
He was a boxing referee. He's in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Died at 85 years of age.
Sounds like a road to me.
Mills Lane. He
or
he refereed a couple of Muhammad Ali's fights.
Okay.
Yep. That's all for this week's Sports Headlines, brought to you, as always, by Fast Signs. I'm Donnie Moore. Back to you, Gunner.
I'm Mike
Marcus, you got
Edwards, and go ahead, Mark.
It's Cy C. Young Jr.
Cy
is the javelin thrower.
There we go.
okay.
Junior.
There we go.
Hey, let me ask one thing. I mean, who do you think should go into the Baseball Hall of Fame that hasn't been in yet? You know, going back.
Wow.
I don't think Gil Hodges is in there.
I don't know, but
I don't think Gil Hodges is in there.
believe
Should he
he
not
is
be in there? He was the New York Mets manager.
I would think so.
Charlie Palaio's listening. He could tell us, but I don't
Yeah,
think
come
Gil
on, Charlie.
Hodges-
Yeah, Charlie might be going in this year.
I'm still pulling
Yeah.
for Charlie to go in.
Me too. I am too. Always.
Yeah, we're good. Hey, seriously, I kind of think that it's hopefully time that Dale Murphy
Yeah, there's
goes
a
on.
player.
He was
Dale
right on. He
Murphy
was right.
should be in there.
Yeah, I mean, he was right on
Yeah.
the borderline with everything on a lot, and I think he could. he should
I
be.
mean,
in
he
that
was
Hall
the
of
only baseball player in Atlanta for about 3 years.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
He
he was the
carried the
franchise
Braves.
down there for
Fame. Yeah,
a
for
while.
years. And you know what caused his downfall? He used to have like a mole on his side of his cheek, and he took it off. All right, and after that, his home run production went down and his hitting production went down.
Well, for those parts of the 80s, it was like Dale Murphy and the Michael Jackson impersonators, because there were 8 guys out there wearing a glove for no apparent reason.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
apparent reason.
Yeah.
That's it.
He was a great player, absolutely.
Exactly.
Let's talk a little UT football. Last week, the Tennessee Vols ended their regular football season, and the day did not go well for them. They lost to Vanderbilt 45-24, and I want to congratulate all 3 of you guys for picking Vanderbilt
Who picked
last
Tennessee?
Saturday, and I've got a big piece of humble pie left over from that I started at the start of the show because I did pick the Vols last Saturday to close strong at home in front of 102,000 people against Vanderbilt, but
Well, Mike, it's a good thing you brought that pie because I had some crow for you.
They didn't show up the second half, which is not unusual. They haven't showed up for most of the second halves all year long, but Vanderbilt really won this game going away. And Tony, I want to talk about Vandy's quarterback, Diego Pavia. What a day that he had. He said he was going to come to Tennessee and take care of business, and he did just that, especially in the second half, 400-plus yards. And he's got to be they got to bring him to New York for a finalist in the Heisman.
I mean, I think he deserves a Heisman. And again, regardless of should he really be playing or not or anything like that, he's been a difference maker in that program. He's turned that program to now a contender and a program to be taken seriously. He's played a vital role in terms of their recruiting, where they just signed one of the top quarterbacks, if not the top quarterback.
The top player in the country.
Yeah. And so, I mean, hats off to Vanderbilt. And most importantly, their head coach turned down a lot of different offers, and he's going to remain as the head football coach.
That's right. And in that game, Pavia got a lot of credit for the win, and they want to talk about him because of the year he's had and the fact that, he's in the Heisman running. But I think a big factor in that game was Vandy's tailback, Cedric Alexander. 3 touchdowns, 10 carries, 115 yards. Tennessee didn't have any answer for him on defense at all.
No
Second
answer
half,
at all.
He made some big plays. But
and obviously what ties it in is their offensive line was extremely more physical than Tennessee's defense.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, in the second half they put on a great show.
I'm going to talk a little bit more about Vanderbilt in the next segment when we talk about the playoff situation. But I want to talk about this Tennessee team and the fact that they finished the year 8-4. A lot of fans are upset the way things ended up, but I think, Donnie, you had them 8-4. I had them 8-4 to start the year.
I think that's why
Marcus had them 7-5, I believe. Is that right? And a lot of people were thinking, well, they're going to lose to Georgia, they're going to lose to Alabama, they're going to lose to Florida, and maybe one other team. I mean, that was the thinking.
I thought 8-4 too.
That was the thinking, but now we're at 8-4, and somehow or another, Coach, I really doesn't seem to taste real good.
Somehow or another, it's a disappointment.
No,
it doesn't taste real good. Why is that?
Well, everyone thinks we should be better than we really are, and we thought that looking at who's coming back, who they're playing, their schedule, we all kind of thought they're really an 7-8 win type of season like that. But again, as the season goes on, they're expecting high expectations. Now what Tennessee's got to do is kind of build and really develop some of their younger players. It's going to be a big question if Aguilera, correct, is their quarterback. If he comes back, he had some good games, all right. But it'd be nice to have a experienced quarterback at that position, and by the same time go and recruit a young guy that's going to be ready.
You've got a young guy. You just signed a young guy, but think back to where we were in August when we were making those picks. We were thinking this was a Tennessee team that was going to rely on a great defense.
Correct.
We were going to have a great defense, and we didn't know what at quarterback.
Correct.
That's true. That was an unknown.
And now but what we found out 2 weeks in was we had a quarterback. We didn't have a defense.
That's right.
So, where we ended up from where we thought we were going to be is dramatically different, but we still ended up at the same record.
Correct.
At 8-4. But I think the defense, the emphasis, I think showed up yesterday in signing day. I've never seen so many defensive linemen signed by one team.
Right, right.
Double-digit defensive line signings.
Well, obviously they recognize their deficiencies defensively, and probably some of those guys that were on the roster this year, they're probably being advised they need to look at a different program.
Yeah. Marcus, because of the way things turned out, because it was 8-4, they lost to Vanderbilt. They'd beaten Vanderbilt 6 years in a row going into last Saturday. Is the hot seat clock ticking on Josh Heupel? I mean, I'm not saying the hot seat, but is the clock started ticking a little
You
bit?
could say somebody maybe bought some charcoal. I mean, I don't think it's lit up, because I think if
Yeah, they're not ready to send a moving van to his
mean,
house yet.
when you see what can go on after last weekend, I think Tennessee fans should be more afraid of the courting of their coach than getting rid of their coach.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
We're Tennessee fans, and this program a lot of years has been in this situation that we're talking about this morning, and that's the what if.
Yeah.
So I'll start with you, Coach Rulli. What if? What was that play or situation during the year? What if that had turned out different? We'd be looking at 9-3, 10-2.
Well,
11-1.
my what if is if the quarterback that transferred out, what if he would have stayed?
Nico.
Yeah, Nico. What if, because he's being touted as one of the top quarterbacks in the nation, him coming back into this season, to me, that's the big what if.
Yeah.
And, of course, now, he went to UCLA, and, obviously he feels like it was a bad move now.
Yeah. Marcus?
I think my what if would be, what if Tennessee isn't called for holding against Georgia in the fourth quarter, and that field goal is 10 yards
Shorter.
closer.
And you didn't have all the confusion there with timeouts and all of that right there.
If I had a bigger what if, it would have been what if Josh Heupel had just gone for the touchdown right there instead of playing that drive to kick the field goal.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Donnie Moore?
It does. What if we could have beaten Vanderbilt?
Yeah, that's a game you don't like to lose.
No,
right
absolutely
at the end,
not.
do you?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to Oklahoma, where we just sort of shot ourselves in the foot all day long.
We did. You're right.
Yeah, exactly right.
We sure did.
That was a big game against a ranked team.
So
you had them at home, and boy, you could have got that. See, you don't have a quality win the whole year. You had the quality win right there.
So would
and
you go back to the whole game?
In your hands and let it slip right through.
Shooting yourself in the foot.
Would you go to the whole game, or do you just want that one catch that the tight end dropped?
Yeah, either one.
In the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and you can go back to what ifs too with drops all year. Look at last Saturday. We had all you had to do was walk in the end zone right there in a crucial play.
Right.
We had a drop right there on the goal line that, guys, all of us could have caught. I think, don't you? Going in and that was a big play. This team, what are they going to be known for? Got no quality wins. No quality wins all year. So, Tony Aruli, what are you going to be known for? What's this team going to hang their hat on?
Boy, I'm lost of words right now. I mean, they're going to be known for a team that had some potential, I think, but everything had a click. And I think what we mentioned earlier, I think they'll be known for, a disappointing defense where they were expected to carry the team more than anything else.
Yeah.
Marcus?
I think when you look back at this team, this is going to be Joey's team. This is going to be the year you had Joey because of what he did. I mean, we didn't know what he was going to be. We didn't even know if he was going to be the starter.
No.
Yeah.
We didn't even know if he was named the starter week 1, if he'd still be the starter on week 2 or 3. So I think this really is Joey's season and what he was able to do distributing the ball, keeping a lot of receivers happy. Of course, you had some drops, but he was not the interception machine people thought he might be. He had Tennessee in position to beat Georgia. And you want to play you play the what if game. Tennessee beats Georgia.
Yeah.
Maybe we're having a completely different conversation about their playoff prediction right now. So, I think it's Joey's season. right now. I'm not sure that 10 years from now we might not be looking back at one of these running backs as this being where he first made his impact.
Donnie Moore.
I figure it's going to be this team is going to be known for we'll get them next year.
Yeah, we've been there, done that, though, hadn't we?
Yes, we have.
We've been there, done that. We'll get them next year.
Yeah, we'll be
Next
better
year's our
next year.
We'll go down there and win a bowl game. We'll beat Iowa or Northwestern or
Yeah.
somebody. Hey, we got her all put together now, and we got a good recruit. Man, where do I get my tickets? And my parking pass? I'm ready to go. Next year's going to be our
Where do
year.
I make my donation?
Yeah, we've heard that.
I just think this is the year that thanks Nico for this, because I mean it was just high expectations with him. They felt like they're going to make good progress, and he's our guy. And then for him to bail out the way he did, I mean it just kind of put the program, I think, in a little bit disarray.
Well, I'm going to go with the win at Florida. The end of the streak down at Gainesville, and maybe I'm looking on the good side right there, but
that's a bad Florida team.
I know it was a bad Florida team, but that's the best you got.
You
didn't have any quality wins on the whole schedule.
No.
Hey, it's time to take a break, and when we return, we'll talk some college football playoffs. You're listening to the GoTeez Sportspage, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
For over 90 years, Anderson Lumber Company in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. Locally owned, so the money made here stays here. Whether you're renovating a kitchen, bath, new floors, doors, or windows, Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store and can take care of you from design to install. We welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa for all your home's needs, or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, and I'm here with Donnie Moore, Marcus Fitzsimmons, and Tony Iruli. And let's talk about this playoff situation in these conference games. And I know that the playoff committee has said, well, we just shouldn't penalize anybody that's in championships games if they lose. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it, because there's just too many things that can happen today that's on the table. Alabama plays Georgia. They lose today. They're 10-3. You're going to put Georgia or Alabama in there with a 10-3 record, 3 losses? I don't believe it. Now, maybe you can go back and justify that. But I want to throw this out first of all.
Okay.
Tony, there's 4 teams that could be left out of the playoffs and are playing their best football of the season right now. And the playoff committee has always gone to favor those teams that's really playing well at the end and has finished strong.
That's right.
Notre Dame's playing outstanding football right now. They've got an excellent quarterback. They've got a great running back that's going to be in the Heisman run.
Yeah.
You got Miami.
Yeah.
They're playing extremely well. And look at Vanderbilt. Look what they've done.
Sure.
They've only lost to what? Texas and Alabama.
Correct.
Is the only 2 losses that they've got. And they played Texas really well. And then you've got I know Texas has got 3 losses, but they got that Texas A&M win.
Sure.
And they're playing real well right now. All 4 of those teams. And then I got Utah down here at 10-2. Sort of an underdog for everything. But those 4 teams, and I'm looking at who could go in. They can play with anybody right now, couldn't they, Tony?
Well, I think especially the top 3 teams that you just mentioned. I mean, I think they're playing all well, and Utah's playing good. And that, like I said, it's I think they seem to make up the rules as they go along, in terms of selection and all that. Yeah. And they don't follow what they originally had set forth to do. And I just think, it continues to be a mess.
Last week, and Marcus, I'll let you talk about this one. Alabama went over Notre Dame last week in the polls. They were ranked ahead of them. They moved ahead of them, which was a big move. by the committee as far as Notre Dame was concerned. Notre Dame went out to Stanford, and they took care of business. They just absolutely hammered Stanford out there. Right. Stanford, of course, is not a real good football team. And then, of course, Alabama went down to Auburn and played an Auburn team that's just not having a very good year at all.
Not at all.
And struggled down there.
Right.
And Auburn coughed the ball up on the 20-yard line going in. They could have scored, gone for 2, and won the football game. And they move Alabama ahead of Notre Dame. I'm having a little bit of a hard time adjusting to that.
Why?
Because I just don't think beating Auburn is all that big a deal. I mean, that's not a great win. Why should they be moved up?
I have not, fortunately, not on that committee, and I don't have to justify that decision. But it works out for what you end up with is an Alabama team that, if it loses today in the championship game, is still in the playoff. I think they're still in, even if they lose today.
I think if they're in the playoffs with 3 losses, it's a travesty, an absolute travesty.
There's a lot of things that can go on today. The ACC championship game being the biggest that could really throw a wrench into this whole system. With the Duke win, the committee's making some really tough choices and having to justify a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
And the teams you listed, somebody loses out because if Duke wins today.
And let's talk about this. Have we got a system that's really kind of flawed right here? Are we not getting the best 12 teams in here? That was the whole goal, was to get 12 of the best teams to play for the national championship. And I don't know whether it's going to turn out that way this year, Coach.
No,
really?
And like I said earlier, that it just seems like there's never a clear message of how they're going to pick them and what's the criteria. It seems like they kind of changed that criteria.
Yeah, it's fluid.
Yeah, it's very soft and all that. And but again, like I said, it was only a few years ago they only had 4.
True.
And we were having the same argument, hey,
exactly.
We need. What about the number 5 or number 16? They're actually better than the number 3 and 4. Now we expanded to 12. Now there's that same argument. They said, well, maybe we should expand it to 20 teams next. And then, so whatever the answer is, you're always going to have the argument. There's more things being paid attention to number 12, 13, 14 there is being paid attention to 1 and 2.
Yeah, I understand. Tulane last night, they won, and James Madison won, and both of those teams, one of them is going to have to be picked by the committee, to fill one of the spots. Is that correct, Marcus? I'm correct on that.
Yeah. I mean,
they get one of the bids.
What the rule says is you have the top 5 ranked conference champions. So going back to what I was mentioning earlier, so when they set that rule up, the thought was, well, those the Power 4, those conference champions are always going to be ranked teams. They never imagined the scenario we've got right now where you could possibly have an ACC champion that would be ranked below 2 Power.
That may not even be ranked.
But
Duke could win the ACC championship and not be ranked.
So you could
finish up with a 8-4 record or something like that.
Yeah,
so
and according to the rule, the ACC would have no representation.
Right. So if they put James Madison and Tulane above Duke, you would have 2 conference champions from outside the Power 4, rather than the one they thought, because it was just assumed that an ACC champion would be ranked above them.
There you go. Now look what kind of chaos that's going to cause. The real chaos, the way I look at it today, Coach Iruli, would be is if BYU was to beat Texas Tech.
Oh, yeah.
And if Duke was to beat Virginia.
That's
the worst scenario that I think that the committee would want to have.
There would be more calm in the last few minutes of the Titanic.
Now,
that it would be.
If Alabama was to beat Georgia, you could include that a little bit on the outside, because if Georgia beat Alabama, you could say, well, they got 3 losses, and they could justify leaving Alabama out of the playoffs, even though they've said we're not going to penalize anybody for going to a championship game. But I don't believe them. I don't believe them. I just don't think a team with 3 losses is going to get in there. So that's a little bit marginal. But, man, you could of course, if Virginia wins and Texas Tech wins, then,
that takes care of that.
You're pretty well taking care of a lot of problems. But I think Vanderbilt's a team. I think Vanderbilt's a playoff team. I really think they're. I mean, they lost to Texas and they lost Alabama, and they played in the SEC and they drubbed Tennessee on their home field last week. I mean, and they got one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I just feel like they're a quarterback contender.
Well, you talk, on television-wise, you talk about
a playoff contender.
You talk about a TV rating boost. I mean, I think people, general audience, would love to see Vanderbilt in there.
Yes,
because they want to watch Pavia play, and they've,
So here's the question to aggravate Mike to no end.
Go for it.
If Vanderbilt was an independent and had the wins it did, would it not deserve to be ranked higher than Notre Dame on quality of wins?
If they were playing an SEC schedule that tough, if
Vanderbilt with the wins it has right now, and the losses it has, does it not have better wins than Notre Dame does? But Notre Dame is the number 10 seed right now.
You're talking about comparing Notre Dame with
Vanderbilt, just
with
straight
Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt being an independent or not being an independent.
Well, I'm just saying if you compare those two teams, I would take Vanderbilt over Notre Dame.
Okay, well I can understand that.
So do you think we need to get rid of the conference champions being having a berth in the playoffs and just go with the top 12 ranked teams?
Ooh, boy, that's kind of the way I'm seeing it. I mean, let's say Duke beats Virginia. It'd be nice if the ACC, if they said, well, okay, if you're going to do it this way, then if they were guaranteed a team in there, and the ACC could maybe tell the committee, our pick, is Miami.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially the way Miami's been playing.
Yes,
I mean
but these
playing really
good. These conference championships can really create some problems.
So,
I mean, maybe they ought to open the door.
I was going to say maybe they shouldn't have conference championships anymore.
Yeah,
but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about that.
Yeah.
But
too much money involved.
Anyway, a lot's going to be settled today. I think Indiana and Ohio State. I think they're in there. I think they're going to get buys, and Texas Tech up there. I think they're still in the buy category, and I think maybe Georgia too is in there if they win. If they win today. So there's a lot that's already settled. But when you're looking from maybe 6 or 7 on down to 12, not so much. Not so much.
I think we will talk next week, but I'm not going to be surprised if Duke were to pull the upset. They're going to get a lot of quality vote points for beating a top 25 team that's going to be just enough to eke them in there.
Donnie Moore, a lot of good discussion today, and good to see you again, Coach Iruli. And we'll
good show.
We'll call it a day, huh?
We will.
Blow the whistle. Hey, that'll do it for today's edition of the GoTeez Sportspage. Thanks to Aaron Ishmael back at Loud Media, our host of Bluetick Tavern, and all our sponsors. Until next Saturday, this is Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, wishing everyone good sports.
And that's the final whistle. Join us again next Saturday for the
Get a lot of attention
GoTeez
that way.
Sportspage, the best in local